Welcome back to The Explainer. Look, let's be completely real for a second. We're talking about becoming the architect of unbreakable discipline. But to actually build that architecture, well, you gotta face a pretty uncomfortable reality first. How many times have you set this massive, life-changing goal, felt that insane rush of motivation, and then, boom, an hour later, you're just blindly scrolling away your time on your phone? Yeah, we've all been there. It's a trap we literally all fall into. But listen, man, it's not because you're fundamentally lazy, and it's definitely not because you don't genuinely want to succeed. It's just that you haven't built the mental framework to handle the endless, deafening noise of the modern world yet.
So really ask yourself, how many times have you actually said the words, I'll start today? Or maybe, you know what, I'll start on Monday, or I'll start on the first of the month. We absolutely know the frustration of those broken promises, right? We start out so hopeful. But here is the hard truth I need to drop on you, especially as a man talking to other men who are dead set on leveling up. If you don't learn to command your brain, you are going to remain a slave to your moods forever. Going into the next few months with the exact same patterns, your life is not going to magically reset just because the calendar does. No way. Right now, your mind is kind of your worst enemy. It's in there, constantly whispering excuses to you every single time things get tough. Real change, the kind that actually sticks around, doesn't happen with some cliche New Year's resolution. It happens when you silently, deliberately rebuild how you think and how you live. So today, I'm going to walk you through 12 mental rules to help you build unbreakable discipline. And the best part, you're going to do it so quietly that no one will even notice you're transforming until the results are just undeniable. Okay, so here's our master planned blueprint for today's explainer. 4 main pillars. Number 1, sparking immediate action. Number 2, designing your environment. 3, building mental resilience. And 4, playing the long game. Let's dive right in. All right, pillar number 1, sparking immediate action, or how to totally override your brain's excuses. Look, discipline isn't always about moving mountains on day one, right? Actually, it's about these tiny micro actions that generate immediate, quick wins. I like to call rule number 1 the 3-second kill switch. When your brain starts telling you, I'll just do it later, do not even give it the oxygen to argue with you. You count down. 3, 2, 1, move. You physically force action. Why? Because action creates motivation, not the other way around. If you can literally just stand up and start the task before your mind generates that laundry list of excuses, the internal resistance basically vanishes. You kill the hesitation by moving your body. Now, rule number 2 tells us to act before we feel ready. Think about it. So many people just sit around waiting for clarity, right? They're waiting for the perfect moment or like a perfectly drawn map of their whole journey. Do not wait for a map. Taking action is the exact thing that generates clarity. Every single confident, successful guy you admire, they all started out feeling totally unsure. They just figured it out along the way. Stop waiting around. Just start walking. And that brings us perfectly to rule number 3, the 2-minute rule. This is all about pure, steady momentum. It goes like this. If a task takes less than 2 minutes to do, you just do it immediately, no debating. Whether it's putting a straight dish away, firing off a quick email, or, yeah, I'm going to say it, your mom was actually right about this one, making your bed. Completing these tiny tasks instantly builds momentum. And once that momentum starts rolling, the bigger, scarier things in your life, they suddenly start to feel way, way easier to crush. Moving on to pillar 2, designing your environment so it's literally impossible to fail. You see, discipline doesn't just magically appear by trying harder or gripping the steering wheel tighter. It comes from realizing that your surroundings absolutely dictate your identity. Let's rapid fire through rules 4 and 11 here. First off, cut your escape routes. If you're genuinely serious, remove the triggers. Take the TV out of the bedroom. Put your phone on grayscale. Delete those apps that steal your attention. Because if your surroundings still support your old habits, your old identity is gonna keep winning, for sure. Also, rule 11. Stop trying to perfectly engineer your sleep at night and instead command your mornings. Wake up at the exact same time every single day. Get up the second that alarm rings, even if you are dead tired. By controlling your morning, your internal clock resets itself and your nights will naturally fix themselves. It's a game changer. Which brings us to rule 6. Man, so many of us walk around feeling tired but wired. Ever feel like that? It's because we're feeding our brains absolute junk media, an endless, pointless drama. What you consume literally shapes who you become. If you start aggressively guarding your inputs, what you watch, what you read, what you listen to, your outputs, meaning your focus, your drive, your energy, they'll transform entirely on their own. All right, pillar number 3. building mental resilience and facing those internal struggles. So everything we've talked about so far sets the stage. But this pillar, this is about surviving the truly hard days. Because those hard days are coming, brother. It is inevitable. Rule 7 is all about reframing your pain into what I call tuition. Most people look at a massive setback or a brutal day as like a punishment from the universe. No. You need to look at it as an education that comfort could never, ever give you. When things get incredibly hard, just remind yourself that you're paying the tuition required to build tolerance. You're becoming a man who can handle absolutely anything life throws at him. And that brings us to Rule 8, the 40 or 50-day mark. I call this the boring middle. You know, the start of a challenge is always super exciting and the end is super rewarding. But right around day 40, that is exactly where most people quit. It's the danger zone. The results feel agonizingly slow, and that initial spark of motivation is completely dead. But I'm telling you with absolute certainty, this is exactly where success is forged. You gotta do the boring work, especially when you don't feel like it. Now, to survive that boring middle, you're gonna need rules 5 and 9. Rule 5, never, ever break a promise to yourself. Start small if you have to, but keep your word. Confidence isn't built by just sitting there thinking positive thoughts. It's built by the undeniable proof of your own consistency. Every promise you keep builds self-trust. And Rule 9, practice 10 minutes of total silence daily. Seriously, if you can't sit alone without reaching for your phone, you're addicted to noise. Solitude kills your addiction to distraction. It kills your dependence on shallow people. In that silence, you finally get to hear your own thoughts again, and you reveal your true clarity. Which leads us to our final pillar, number 4. Playing the long game and mastering your future self. We're really raising the stakes here. The micro actions are handled, the environment is locked down, the resilience is built. Now, we focus on the ultimate identity shift with Rule 10, follow a mission mindset. Look, a king already knows his mission. He doesn't wake up in the morning wondering what he should do with his day. You need to take 5 minutes every single night to plan your next day. Literally, do it tonight. When you wake up with a clear, established plan, your mind wastes zero energy on decision fatigue. You hit the ground running, starting your day in total, absolute control. And finally, Rule 12. Most guys absolutely destroy their potential because they are totally addicted to immediate comfort. They want everything right now, right this second, before actually doing the work. But if you practice delayed gratification, if you learn to wait, invest in yourself, and build for the long term, the world will literally bend in your favor. Choosing discipline today isn't some form of punishment. It's choosing a version of your future self that you'll actually be proud to look at in the mirror. All right, so let's wrap this up. Conclusion time. Challenge accepted. As we close out this explainer's blueprint, remember this. None of this is about demanding flawless perfection from yourself. You're going to stumble. We all do. But it absolutely requires consistency. The time for making excuses is officially over. If you are truly ready to build that unbreakable version of yourself, I've got a challenge for you. Go down to the comments right now and type the words challenge accepted. Let's prove right here, right now, that you are a man who keeps his word. Make sure to subscribe for more explainers, and let's get to work. But before you go, ask yourself this one question. If you close this explainer and do exactly what you did yesterday, where will you be 1 year from today? Think about it.